Hasta el fin de cada zona.
Honorable members of Parliament, dear guests, good morning. Sitting resumes. The sitting of today, Thursday, the 18th day of July 2024, is devoted to the following item. Interactive session organized by Parliament and its partners. Honorable members, we received separate requests from the International Human Rights Commission, IHRC, and the Center for Humanitarian Dialogue, HG, to make a presentation to the plenary on the work they do.
This includes domestic violence, sexual harassment, and harmful traditional practices that perpetuate gender inequality and discrimination. I'm sure we can see it's highly prominent in Africa, and yet nothing is being done about it. And that's why we are coming here to present these issues. Lack of access to essential services. Education and healthcare remains a significant challenge for a large portion of the population in Africa. The lack of quality education and healthcare services contribute to the scale of poverty and inequality in the region, with many individuals unable to reach their full potentials to limited opportunities. You keep asking, what are our elected politicians, what are they doing? When you get to the villages there, you will see what is suffering. In fact, a beggar in the town is a millionaire compared to what you see in the villages.
I would like to say, to answer those sort of questions by starting to say that Sudan, which is the most active conflict in the Horn of Africa today, actually shares a border with 7 countries. Some of them Central African countries, some of them Sahel states, which actually are immediate contiguous neighbors to West African states. So basically the point is, the Horn of Africa is not that far away.
Tells you, get the maximum that you can get from anybody and pay him the least that you can, where possible. And in that process, rights are denied. Countries don't pay wages that can be classified as living wages, driven by the desire to maximize profits, capitalism. So, to what extent has capitalism, as a concept, when implemented, aided the desire, the drive for human rights, or its denial?
Father, it's not true. We are born, it's not part of our culture. They discipline you. They tell you what to do. In our own Gambia, there were a time when they take you in the bush for a month to train you what? Discipline. They circumcise you and train you discipline. How do you sit before you eat? How do you talk to elders? If your mother looks at you right in your eyes, you know what she is saying. Now it's human rights. Your mothers we have to stop to talk to you. Your father also the same thing. Till when? As Africans, it's not part of our culture.
Em primeira mão, nas suas próprias pessoas, esquecem-se do coletivo. Há questões ligadas a divergências tribais, divergências culturais, educação familiar, educação base na família, questões ligadas à política. Num país onde não há liberdade de pensamento, não há liberdade de ideias, não há liberdade de expressão, como é que se vai cumprir os direitos humanos? A independência dos tribunais. Num país onde os tribunais dependem do poder político, não são independentes, há dificuldades no cumprimento dos direitos humanos. Num país que não é democrático, que é um país de ditadura, há dificuldades de direitos humanos. Num país...
Meanwhile, if I don't support my mother or my father to work on his cocoa farm, I won't get my school fees when school is open the following term or semester. So I think that we should put it in proper perspective. Don't let us follow these white men who don't even respect us. Those are our friends who have traveled to US and the European countries. They discriminate them because of their color. Then they come to West Africa or Africa and tell us that, so please, you are experts in the field. I wanted to hear from you pragmatic steps that you are taking to ensure that when we talk about human rights in West Africa, we're putting it in a cultural perspective to suit our interests, not in the interest of the white man.
Peut-être dit, voilà une institution internationale qui viendra peut-être nous apporter peut-être des différences ou des ressemblances dans ce que nous avons déjà entendu au niveau des rapports pays de certains pays ici. Mais cela n'a pas été le cas pour moi. On a dit simplement qu'il y a eu une multitude de violations des droits de l'homme et on a cité répression politique, violence, etc. Pour moi, c'est très peu, c'est moins détaillé et un peu vague et moins précis. Ma deuxième préoccupation
est un diagnostic. Ce n'est jamais facile. Quand on vous annonce que vous avez le cancer, ça ne fait pas plaisir. Quand on vous annonce que vous avez la leucémie, ça ne fait pas plaisir. Quand on vous annonce que vous avez le VIH, ça ne peut pas faire plaisir. Mais il faut vous le dire pour que vous preniez conscience que voilà le remède que vous voulez prendre, que vous devez prendre si vous voulez guérir. Mais ici, non, je suis désolé. Hier, Monsieur le Président, vous n'avez pas été bon avec moi. Aujourd'hui, vous êtes en train de faire la même chose. Je suis désolé. Vous pouvez m'imposer cela. Non, mais j'ai remarqué depuis hier, c'est la deuxième fois que vous êtes président dans cette session. Je suis le seul à qui vous faites ça. Je suis le seul à qui vous faites ça. Vous lisez.
Independence, without the economic independence, our independence will be meaningless. It was on this drive that this bloc had a thought to gain our economic independence and establish ECOWAS, to integrate the sub-region so that we gain our economic independence and we get the true meanings of independence. Along the way, we had setbacks. We had civil wars, military takeovers, and also rebellions across the sub-region.
C'est à résoudre. Parce que les terroristes, Monsieur le Président, ils ne viennent pas d'ailleurs, c'est nos frères. On dort avec eux. C'est la politique de nos gouvernants dans certaines régions qui amène nos propres frères à aller vers eux. Difficilement, ou un jeune de 25 ans qui a du mal à se marier, qui n'a pas d'emploi, qui fait sa production, n'arrive pas à vendre, on lui remet, les terroristes l'appellent, on lui paye par exemple 50 000 francs par semaine, on lui remet une arme et de la drogue. Facilement, il fait le jeu des terroristes. Il faut qu'on revoie la politique. Ça va nous permettre de lutter contre l'extrémisme violent. Et enfin, je voulais parler de la Cour de justice de la CEDEAO. C'est vrai, on a applaudi qu'il y a une Cour de justice de la CEDEAO. Mais il faut rappeler que plusieurs pays ont remis en cause, refusent d'appliquer. Moi, dans mon pays, il y a une décision de la Cour constitutionnelle qui dit qu'on n'appliquera plus les décisions de la 1.
I want to understand that the people in Liberia should be able to have the same treatment as everyone else. I want the women on the street, the girls to go to school and have the better education. Now, I run the biggest high school in Liberia, which is 2,000 students, and it's tuition free. I personally beat my students. If you come to school late, I'm right to the gate. I will whip you. If you don't want to be whipped, don't come to my school. It is your option. It is a responsibility. I raised 2 children in the United States of America. Today, they are out of school, they are out of college. I beat my children because my mother passed it on to me. I'm not going to spare the rod and spoil the child. I'm not going to stay in America and my children go to jail. So I think before I came to the ECOWAS Parliament, I didn't know what ECOWAS did. I had no clue what ECOWAS did. The only time I knew ECOWAS existed was when it went to Liberia.
Notre collègue Villan, qui malheureusement n'est plus dans la salle, je trouve que c'est une question sur laquelle il faut effectivement inviter les intellectuels, les parlementaires que nous sommes, à encore réfléchir. La question de la limitation des mandats. 2 mandats, dit-on désormais. Monsieur le Président, l'objectif de la politique
Doivent améliorer leur performance dans ce domaine parce qu'en tant que législateur, c'est toujours important pour qu'on puisse attirer davantage leur attention et faire des plaidoyers pour que ces questions soient mieux traitées dans nos pays parce que c'est des questions fondamentales qui touchent le bien-être de nos communautés. Monsieur le Président, toujours dans le rapport, j'ai noté que vous avez des partenariats avec certains pays dans le cadre de l'observation des élections. Je pense qu'il faut élargir ce partenariat avec l'ensemble des pays de l'espace pour plus d'efficacité parce que ces pays sont liés d'une manière ou d'une autre.
So your presentation is taken and I know we're going to learn from more and we also, in our own weak ways, are applying more to protect our own side. And more just need to be done by ECOWAS, that we work together and put these ideas together to make sure it works. I know, let me say this, thank you to the First Deputy for this initiative, for us being watched by our constituents. I know a lot of people have been calling, my children been watching us. It's a very good one. It will be an eye-opener for our countries to know that we're not just here to collect padams or so, but we are advocating in the interest.
Apesar de todo o respeito que nós temos pela cultura e pela religião, enquanto representantes das populações dos nossos países, da nossa região, defender que a cultura e a religião sirvam de escudo para a violação de direitos humanos fundamentais. Nós, enquanto representantes da população que nos elege para nós estarmos aqui, nós não podemos fazer isso. Também nós não podemos chegar aqui e tentar defender a democracia, criticar a democracia para poder justificar, digamos, a defesa de um chefe de Estado que nós sabemos que tem uma cultura ditatorial. Nós temos que posicionar ao lado das populações e não ao lado dos nossos chefes de Estado, com o devido respeito que nós os devemos ter.
When we are scholars, we used to get scared of our teachers. If you dare to do anything wrong, the teacher will lay you there and give you some few lashes. If you have done wrong, if a child does wrong outside, some other parents will give you lashes, don't do it again. But this time, with the laws in the human rights has deviated. This is the reason why we have so many dropouts, so many things that is happening, kush, smoking, marijuana, because nobody is in control. If you ask anybody, say,
The assembly now stand adjourned till tomorrow, 19 July 2024 at 10 a.m. prompt.